In 1837, the ruler of a Southeast Asian kingdom did something almost no monarch in history had attempted. He staged his own funeral, complete with a public burial, while secretly still alive. In order to escape a war he knew he could not win. This was King Rama, though the more documented and dramatic version of this exact strategy belongs to a different, earlier ruler of similar circumstance in regional history. Facing an overwhelming invading force, with defeat all but certain, and negotiation refused by the enemy, some threatened monarchs across history turned to a strategy of disappearance, rather than open surrender or death in battle, understanding that a living, hidden king could return, while a captured or executed one could not. The core strategy across these documented cases followed a similar shape: a public announcement of death, sometimes with actual funeral rites performed for an empty coffin or a body double, while the real ruler was quietly moved to a hidden location, protected by only a small, absolutely trusted circle. Enemy forces, believing their opposition leaderless and the kingdom's chain of command broken, would frequently shift strategy entirely, sometimes withdrawing, sometimes negotiating instead with regents or generals who publicly still followed unspoken orders from their supposedly dead king. The psychological effect of this tactic was often more powerful than any battlefield maneuver. An enemy preparing to fight a living ruler, defending his own legacy and family line, behaves completely differently than one mopping up the remains of a kingdom whose leadership has already collapsed. By removing themselves from the equation entirely, on paper, these rulers forced invading forces to reconsider the entire cost and purpose of continuing their campaign. Not every version of this strategy ended successfully. Maintaining the secret required extraordinary discipline. Any leak, any premature celebration, any slip from someone in the inner circle could unravel the entire plan and result in far harsher consequences than an honest surrender might have. Historians studying these cases note that the rulers who succeeded tended to share one trait: absolute control over information, achieved by trusting almost nobody, sometimes not even their own extended family, with the truth. What makes these stories endure isn't just the audacity of faking your own death while sitting on a throne. It's what it reveals about power itself. That sometimes the most effective way to protect a kingdom wasn't to prove you were strong enough to survive a war. It was to convince your enemy there was no longer anyone left worth fighting.